Hi, and welcome to the video series on software cache generators. In this particular video series, you'll learn how to take an idea, create an idea, turn it into a simple software so that you can get it up and running, and so that, of course, you can go ahead and sell it. So it's really about how to create software as far as running a software business. Now, I'm coming at this angle because I actually have experience in creating software. I went to school for software creation or programming, but I don't necessarily create most of my softwares. In fact, I outsource most of the software creation because it's easier, it saves time, and it saves money. So I'm going to show you from my experience, step by step, how to go about this process. I've actually created several softwares that have raked in over 6 figures within several months. And I'll show you what it takes to implement a successful software. Let me start out by talking about some myths. I know many of you might be thinking, well, I don't know a single line of code, or I'm not a technical person. How can I create software? Well, the fact of the matter is you really don't need to know how to create software. You need to understand how to create the software in the sense of not really programming the software, but really taking an idea and turning it into software. If you understand that process, which is very easy to do, I'll show you in just a minute. It's very easy to do, and you can get up and running within 30 days or less. You could probably even do it within 10 days, depending on the software idea that you have. Now, what I want to do first is give you an overview of what we will be discussing in this particular video series. First video, as you can see, of course, is this particular video. I will go about showing you the overview of this video series. Next thing I'll do is talk about the tools that you're going to need, and of course, how it's all going to work. I believe that once you know tools you need and how it works, and you begin to watch the other videos, then you can bring all the pieces of the puzzle together. Video 2 is going to be about what software should you create. If you're just getting into this, you probably don't have a software idea already. So you need to have a software idea before you create a piece of software, right? It's just like writing an ebook. You need to know what the topic's going to be about before you write the ebook. Same concept. Alright, so in that video I talk about ideas. I talk about 3 tactics that you can use, simple tactics to create software ideas fast. If you use this method, it will be fast, and you will see how easy it is to create software ideas in less than 5 minutes. Software products that are indeed simple, but yet profitable. Video 3, I'll be talking about determining what the software does. Once you have an idea of what it is, you need to determine what it does. What kind of actions, what kind of functions, what does the software do in exact terms? Don't worry, I'll show you all that in that video. It's very easy. In fact, if you know how to create a to-do list, which I know many of you do, if you create a to-do list or a grocery list, very similar idea, very similar concept. If you can do that, you'll be able to master video 3. Video 4 is about planning your own software. Once you have an idea of what you want and what the software does, you can take all of that and a few other things and plan your software. You'll need to create an outline, a blueprint, some sort of plan for your software so that when you hire a programmer, which we'll do in video 5, creating your software, you'll hire a programmer, you'll give them the specifications that you've planned out in video 4 to them so that they can create the software. Video 5, I'll talk about hiring programmers, what you should do to find a good programmer, because not all programmers are good. Some are good, but you want the best. How do you pinpoint a good software programmer? Then, of course, we got video 6, testing and maintaining your software. Once you've created your software, and keep in mind that software can be anywhere from a couple hours, a couple days to 30 days or more, depending on the software idea you create. So your whole idea is to create a simple software. And I will tell you this. Over the years, since 2003, I've seen this. Most people that release simple softwares, those simple softwares generally make very good money. It's when they get very, very complex and very confusing to use, then people buy it and they refund. And I know this from selling my own software products. So video 6 is about testing it, making sure that it is user-friendly, making sure that there are no bugs, because the last thing you want to do is release a software that has bugs in it. You release that software, it has bugs in it, guess what? You're going to have major refunds and major support. If you plan it correctly, you can do it in a way that you will have less refunds and less support tickets. So we'll test it, and we'll talk about maintaining your software, which will deal with upgrading your software, adding features, and things like that. Of course, video 6 is not actually part of this video step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but video 7 is a bonus. What I'll be teaching you here is how to recycle and create software fast at lightning speeds. If you've heard the term private label rights or private label source code or private label software, then basically private label source code is software that is given to you by somebody who has programmed a piece of software already. You take that software, you hire a programmer, and you pretty much add features and things like that. But I'll go into more depth about that. And that's just an extreme gold mine right there. That's probably worth as much as this whole video series. So you're getting double amount just through that. Now that you understand the overview and what we're going to talk about, let me move on to talk about the tools that you're going to need. You're going to need money. Of course, you're not going to be able to hire a software programmer unless you have money. You need at least $50 to $100, at least. I mean, you could invest $100, $150 to $200. Most of the projects, I will tell you, that I develop range from $50 to $100. If you follow my video series step by step, then you will lower your costs. I guarantee that. But if you don't, then you're probably going to pay $500 or to $1,000. And keep in mind that if I were to hire anybody in America, for example, or anywhere around my living location, my softwares that I create would normally cost me about $1,000 to $2,000 at least. But I'm able to use my system and find people to do it for less for $100. And I'll show you some tips and tricks along the way. Of course, you're also going to need the internet, and you're going to need your brain. Duh. You need your brain to create a step-by-step to-do list. Like I said earlier, if you know how to create a to-do list, this process should be fairly easy to accomplish and to master. Now, before I actually get started and move to video 2, I want to talk about the basic concepts of software creation. First, this is how it works. You find a software idea, or you create a software idea. Then you list out what it does. You create an outline or blueprint, you create the software, you hire programmers, develop the software, and of course you test and debug it.